Hey everybody, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and this is The Daily Show, where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is your editor-in-chief for AMC Movie News, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California, and we are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here is AMC's Mark Ellis.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, that was still just getting yesterday out of the system.
Carryover from yesterday.
And writer-director John Schnepp.
I pity the fool. I'm sorry, that's from yesterday. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Last night, the first official trailer for the upcoming Marvel film Ant-Man premiered. In the trailer, narration is provided by Michael Douglas's Hank Pym character as he talks to Paul Rudd's Scott Lang, encouraging him to become the Ant-Man. Ant-Man hits AMC theaters on July 17th, 2015. John, what did you think of the first trailer?
Like, it's okay. It's okay. I watched it last night for the first time, and I was, don't like it. I watched it, me and Mark watched it again this morning, and I liked it a little bit more, but that brought it up from meh to meh. Meh. I really did. There are a couple things I'll say that I liked about the trailer. I love the last line about, is it too late to change the name?
Right.
Because Ant-Man is a stupid name.
Yeah.
And I love when a movie's self-aware enough that they can kind of address that. Say, yeah, we know this is a dumb name, go with it. The other thing I really liked is that there was no reference to anything else in the Marvel Universe in the trailer. Because to me, one of the things that I hate, amongst the plethora of things I hate about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., is that, it became just, it's just, especially the first season, it's just a show that does nothing but, we can't get you to like us for what we're doing on the show. So we'll mention Iron Man every chance we get. We'll mention Thor every chance we get. To try to create an association between those things you love, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the show that we're doing. And I fully expected that in this Ant-Man trailer, they would do that. They would just fall back to, let's try to get the fact that everybody loves Captain America and Iron Man, so they'll like this. And instead, they made a trailer that had no references to the outside cinematic universe, and I thought that was bold, and I appreciated they did that. Love Michael Douglas's voice, and I like that narration. It's pretty good. But look, I still firmly believe Ant-Man is going to be an awesome movie. It's just a trailer, and it's just the first trailer. It's just the first teaser that's coming out. Which, by the way, Christian, talking to Christian, there's a big debate on that, but we were talking the other day because Fantastic Four is a little over 7 months away, and there's no trailer yet. Ant-Man is 6 months away, and it just dropped its first trailer. Nobody was complaining about that.
Not even a trailer,
Teaser.
We got a month. You hear me, 4? You got a month.
Fantastic Four, you got 1 month now. The clock is ticking.
Get it together.
Tell Doom to log onto his computer.
But look, I'm a big fan of Marvel. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Marvel and what they're doing, but that doesn't mean, it's like I'm a Star Wars fan, but I don't ignore the fact that the prequels are all pieces of garbage. I don't stick my head in the sand like an ostrich and say, it's not a great trailer, I didn't think, personally, but I still believe that's irrelevant. I still think the movie's going to be great. It's just that the trailer didn't do anything to make me more excited for it. Anyway, Mark, you saw it. What did you think about it?
This trailer was something I've never been accused of in my life, and that is it was smart. And I'll tell you why. It's because it kicks off with Michael Douglas's narration, which gets everybody sucked in. Michael Douglas can sell something to anyone, and then it made fun of itself.
He convinced Catherine Zeta-Jones to marry him.
The guy's a salesman, okay? He was able to get me involved in this universe, which I didn't really care about that much. I mean, obviously, because of everything Marvel's done, I'm excited about Ant-Man now. But what this trailer does is it shows the rest of the world that, hey, we know, like you said, the name's kind of silly. Just Ant-Man just doesn't sound as cool as Spider-Man. So we got to make fun of that a little bit. We have to be a little self-aware. And the little hints you got for people who are really into this universe, seeing Corey Stoll walking into some futuristic-looking room, very ominous. That was neat. These shots of Evangeline Lilly were really intriguing to me because it's like, who is she?
I couldn't even tell if that was Evangeline Lilly or not. Those shots were so fast.
But that's what I love about this is that, again, I love teaser trailers. They're my favorite of all the trailers because that's all they do is they tease you and consider me teased.
Yeah.
Schnepp?
I really liked it. I liked that it didn't feel exactly like a Marvel film. It felt like a thriller or like some kind of a spy film. Like this guy's getting out of prison, he's getting like wrapped into some secret covert ops as this dude who can shrink down. And yeah, the Ant-Man sounds a lot lamer than the Batman, But I like the way Michael Douglas says, I want you to, carry on as the Ant-Man. He says the Ant-Man, which I thought was very interesting. This is basically like a glorified Marvel premiere number 48, which was the Scott Lang's first appearance as Ant-Man. So kind of, it really felt like, to me, very true to the comic book origins. And I think it's a great setup. So for me, it made me excited to see the full trailer, where we'll actually see Yellow Jacket. We'll see a lot of some of the bigger set pieces, which they did not show. As far as I'm concerned, it's like somebody opening a vault and you see some, you didn't really see that. It felt like a very small movie.
And you got to see Paul Rudd in costume as Ant-Man, but you never got to see him deliver a line. So that's going to be very intriguing to me as well. What happens to Ant-Man when he's actually wearing the suit? Does he become this different dude?
Right. I'm the helium. Yeah, he's like, is that what it is? The secret?
There's a design choice there too that I liked, and because when he wears the Ant-Man helmet, I didn't know if they would go with the don't see the hero's face and they black. I like that the fact that there was transparency, you could see his eyes.
Right.
I like the fact, which is kind of weird because in Dredd I love that you can never see Carl Urban's eyes, but in this I really want us to see Paul Rudd's eyes. I like that. I thought the visual device they used of him shrinking looked pretty cool. You could have done something very, very hokey and cheesy with flashes of Wonder Woman light. Whoosh, and now he's small, but I like the way that it kind of looked.
You could have Rick Moranis back there with like a little looking bazooka and just aiming it at him. It would have been neat. It would have been different. It would have been a choice.
Hey,
it's a crossover universe.
They can still add that. It's not too late.
All right, what's next?
The fifth installment of the popular Bourne franchise has a new release date. The film will now open in AMC theaters on July 29th, 2016. Matt Damon returns to his most iconic role as Jason Bourne for the fourth time. Acclaimed director Paul Greengrass, who directed The Bourne Legacy, The Bourne Ultimatum, and Captain Phillips, also returns for this much-anticipated chapter. Frank Marshall also returns to produce. Schnepp, is this a good date for the film, and are you still feeling good about Damon returning to Bourne?
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, I'm very happy to see that that Damon and Greengrass came back. Damon was like, unless you bring Greengrass, you don't get me. So I think they made a great team on the second one and the third one. I didn't hate the fourth one with Jeremy Renner. I hope they somehow are still able to weave him into the the Bourne thing. He got jacked. I can't even remember what his name was. It was like, you're part of the Bourne legacy, dude. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're still all Bourne. There's still pictures of Bourne in that movie.
I'm
like
not
Matt
Bourne.
Damon.
I'm my own man. You're a Bourne. Come on.
Like they were all like, we still don't know where Bourne is, but who's this guy? That's what that fourth one felt like. So they're going back to actually Bourne. He's gonna like appear out of I didn't drown, whatever. And we'll get another awesome spy movie. So I buy the date too. They're like locking it down. They're saying we're filming it here.
Mark?
I think it's one of the few films that I don't really care when it comes out, because the Bourne movies to me have always never been like summertime popcorn fare necessarily. It's not Oscar bait. It can literally come out any time during the year, and I'm excited. I'm really pumped for this movie. I don't know who the villain's going to be or who he's going to be. Is he going against the government again? Are him and Joan Allen going to have a lot of tense phone calls again? Or is it going to be a situation where he is going against somebody else who is involved in the Treadstone Project, like Jeremy Renner?
Right.
I always thought that Matt Damon was not a fan of that film, and so he didn't want anybody associated with that to be in it, or what the deal is if he doesn't want to be going against somebody else who's like him. But as far as the release date goes, this thing can come out anytime, and I'd be excited for it.
That would be a great subtitle for the film. Bourne, tense phone calls.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I think this is... Look, I'm getting more and more excited about Matt Damon returning. I've always wanted him to return. It did create some awkwardness because they said they had plans moving forward with the Jeremy Renner thing. Suddenly Matt Damon says, all right, I'll come back. Sorry, Renner. But I think it behooves him at some point to cross these guys over because, like I said, I agree with you. I didn't think Jeremy Renner's Bourne was all that bad. Was it as good as the Matt Damon Bourne films? No. And so therefore, since it's not as good as those, everybody just automatically thinks, well, that means it wasn't good. No, I think it was still good. I think it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I was entertained by it. Not in the same league as the other one. But it does open up some really interesting possibilities for crossovers. We talked about that before. I do like that they're going with a summer release date for it. And look, it's in 2016. It's like 16 months away now. They got to start shooting real fast. They got to start rolling this pretty soon. They got to get moving. So, but for me, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Sinead's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell. So, Sinead, what do we got?
The first trailer for the new horror film, The Lazarus Effect, has hit the web. The film stars Olivia Wilde, Mark Duplass, Donald Glover, and Evan Peters, and it follows a group of students experimenting with dead tissue and the ability to resurrect it. An unfortunate accident leads Wilde's character to be the first human tested, and upon her return, a hellish fury comes with her. The Lazarus Effect opens in AMC theaters on February 27th. Mark, buy or sell this new trailer?
Here, just take my money. It's yours. It's yours. I'm not happy about it. I love horror movies. The trailer got me excited. I love Pet Sematary when I was a kid. I'm a huge fan of Dr. Frankenstein. That's what this looks like. It looks like a combo of both those because you reanimate an animal first and then you reanimate a human being. What I liked about the trailer is the way that it wasn't like somebody's just like volunteering, like, oh no, I'll be willing to die and then you can bring me back to life. Like this was like it was like a split-second decision that they had to make because, oh, I love this woman and she's dead, so now I got to reanimate her. So I thought that was neat. Again, I live in the horror universe, and I enjoy these movies. Even if they're not great, I like getting scared. I think this will have some creeps in it. Plus, Olivia Wilde and Mark Duplass, I trust them as actors making decisions as to what their material is. So I'm cautiously buying this.
What was that movie with Kiefer Sutherland?
Flatliners.
Flatliners, yeah. It had a little
Cool
bit of
movie.
a Flatliners to it. Look, the horror, I love a good horror film. It's not my top 2 or 3 genres that are my favorites. Big buy for me. Shockingly, I loved this trailer. I loved this trailer. I can't remember the last time I saw a trailer for a horror movie that I got this excited about. I knew very, very little about this film other than the fact about who was in it and going in it. Mark Duplass, I'm a big fan of The League. So it's going to be really cool seeing this dude from The League in a horror film. And I love Olivia Wilde. I think she's great. I thought the trailer was creepy, but I never felt like it went over the top. I could have done without that last scene in the trailer where Glover gets put into the case and the case starts to crush. It's like, that feels like going a little bit too much. But that's just because I didn't like how much they gave away, not because I didn't like the scene. But the scene with the dog then in the middle of the night standing over her and starting to growl, it's like, I felt like it had the subtlety, it had the bombasticness of a good North American horror, but the subtlety of a Japanese horror, like kind of mixed into one. The movie might be total crap, but I loved the trailer. Haven't been this excited about a horror trailer in a long time. For me, it's a buy.
I sell this more than I could possibly sell anything on the planet Earth. I absolutely hated this trailer. And let me start with the last thing that you said. They ruin so many moments in the movie that you're supposed to be going to see. Now, when you watch this trailer, you know Glover dies.
Yeah,
I'm not
I didn't like
spoiling
that.
anything
I didn't like that.
unless you haven't seen the trailer, which you're going to see in
Unless
like
that's
2
a
minutes.
nightmare or something.
Yeah,
Who knows?
You know, it's like, to me, I'm so sick of like, look, I'm possessed because I've got dark black eyes. I've got these contacts in. Suddenly, I'm supernatural. I thought it was lame. It's like a bunch of my favorite friends are in a stupid, poopy movie.
They did redline
all
it.
the actors. I love all of the actors who are in it. Evan Peters, Glover, Olivia Wilde, Duplass, all of them top-notch actors in a stink bomb. I think that I would happily be surprised if it's amazing, and I'll eat my everything, all my shirts.
You can eat Christian's other shoe from
The
yesterday.
other shoe. It'll be me and Herzog eating a shoe. I want it to be awesome, but the trailer I hate it.
See, and I'm completely indifferent if it's awesome or not. I just love the trailer.
I just want to get scared, and then if it's good, great. That's a bonus.
I want to get scared too, but I saw Angel of Death, Woman in Black 2, with a bunch of jump scare again. 500 jump scares. Come on.
All right, what's next?
A report from The Wrap has come out suggesting that T.J. Miller, the comedic actor from Transformers 4, TV Silicon Valley, and Big Hero 6, is being lined up for a significant role in the upcoming Ryan Reynolds film Deadpool for Fox. John, would you buy or sell T.J. Miller appearing in Deadpool?
Well, also, let's not forget T.J. Miller's brilliant performance in Yogi Bear. I mean, he was terrific in Yogi Bear.
Who was he in Yogi Bear?
He was like the assistant park ranger. Remember?
Okay. No, I didn't
Come
see Yogi
on.
He was not the bear. He was neither bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about
love this
live action.
picture.
I forgot there was a live action Yogi Bear movie.
My appreciation, I've always liked T.J. Miller when he's popped up in things. My appreciation for him, though, skyrocketed when Silicon Valley came out.
Yes.
And I started to watch Silicon Valley. I was like, holy crap. And then he was like the one redeemable thing about Transformers 4. and then they killed him.
in the most graphic and horrifying,
which was cool. A cool
4-minute sequence of a tracking shot of him frozen on fire and then exploding. It's like, what the hell?
If you gotta go, that's the way to go.
I know, right? You're in a horrible, big, giant, turgid piece of poo. At least you get a cool death scene.
He had a great death scene, and his voice work in Big Hero 6 was awesome. At first I thought it would annoy me, but then by the end of it, I loved it. And then when I finally saw the end credits scene in it, I'm like, this is good. And so there's a lot of things to be excited about the Deadpool film, just the fact that it's happening. It's difficult to say, no matter how much I like TJ, it's difficult to say whether I think this is a good fit or not because I don't yet really know what kind of tone they're going for in the movie. Maybe this is a perfect fit, maybe it's not a bad fit, but it's never a mistake to add good talent. He's good comedic talent. I think him and Ryan Reynolds could possibly play off each other really, really well. So yeah, for me, it's a big buy. Schnepp?
Yeah, I read online that he might be up for the character Weasel, who's basically Deadpool's armory guy, who gives him all the weapons. He's like Deadpool's Q.
Right.
And they're constantly having a back and forth. So with that in mind, if that's the role that he's going to be playing, he fits it perfectly. I mean, because he's different kind of a humor than Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is off the cuff, kind of like, he's got that whole kind of stand-up flavor. I think TJ is going to be more, just like how he is in Silicon Valley, very complainy, but that he just comes through in such a natural way. So I think it's I buy it completely.
Yeah, when you look at superhero movies too, even the really dark and realistic feeling ones like Nolan's Batman trilogy, you need some moments of levity, and that's what you got with Lucius Fox interacting with Bruce Wayne when he's showing him all the new toys.
Yeah.
If that's anything like what we're going to do with Deadpool, I think it's brilliant. I think TJ Miller, I mean, I've seen him, we cross each other's paths a lot of clubs and stuff. He's a fantastic comedian, and I will never say no to seeing him on the big screen. He was the best part of Transformers 4 to me. I thought he was great in that.
Yeah, he was.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, just email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, at the end of the show, we're going to take a few minutes to take some of your live questions as well. So if you're watching us live right now, jump onto Twitter and tweet your question to @AMC Movie News, and Sinead will pull out a couple at the end that she deems worthy. But for now, let's get to the mailbag. So, Sinead, what do we got?
Dean Webb writes, "Hi guys, longtime viewer here, and I was just wondering if you were worried about Taken 3. You always say that January is the month for bad movies, and seeing as it comes out on the 8th, are you scared that it's bad, or whether you have seen it early and it is bad? It comes out 2 days before my birthday, and I want it to be good so bad. Thanks, and bring that filthy."
I'm not worried about Taken 3. Look, I'm actually one of those guys where I didn't see Taken 2 in theater. So when I watched it, I was one of those days where I just decided, I've mentioned this before, I watched the first Taken, and then I watched the second Taken immediately. And so I kind of watched it as one film, and as one film, it kind of worked for me. So I didn't really dislike, but I can totally get people who just saw it as a standalone on all by itself and feel a little let down by it. I totally get that, I really do. But for me, I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. I really do like the trailers for this so far. I'll watch Liam Neeson in anything. I'll even watch him in A Million Ways to Die in the West. So you put him in anything, I'll be there and I'll watch it. And I think, like I said, I think the trailers look good. It looks like they're foregoing some of the narrative and just going, let's just go more badass in this one and just go full balls to the wall, take the wife out of it, just let him go crazy. So I'm not totally worried about it. Look, I don't think it's going to be John Wick. I don't think it's going to be The Raid 2. But I think it's going to be, my prediction is this is going to be entertaining. So, and we'll see whether it goes up or down from there. Mark, what do you think?
Oh, I got some concerns because I hated the second Taken. I was so let down because that could have been the next great action franchise. And what bugs me about this new one is that the premise is great, I think. The fact that he's now the guy on the run. And I like that they end the trailer with him saying what the terrorist said to him in the first one, which is good luck. I like that. What I don't like is that he spent these first two movies just running all over the globe protecting his family. There's only two people he cared about, and it was his estranged wife, who now was his wife again by the end of the second movie, and his daughter, Maggie Grace. And now we're just killing one of them right off the bat. And it's like, now I don't even care as much about this family. Plus, I hated Maggie Grace in the second one because she's now learning how to throw grenades off of buildings just because her dad's walking her through it like she's trying to go online for the first time or something. And so she's using all this high-tech weaponry, so I hope that she doesn't have too big of a role in that. I want her just to be the scared daughter and not become Arnold Schwarzenegger in this.
Could they flip it and then he's captured by the cops and she's like calling up, I have a certain set of skills. You better release my... to be honest with you, I have not seen Taken 1 or 2. So like I'm going to wait
Taken 1
for
is so
Treat
good.
yourself.
waiting
So
for the
good.
trilogy to see all three like I normally do. But Yeah, I like the trailer. I thought I'm with you though. I sort of like, wow, whacking the wife right away, and now cops are after him. All right, that's the way to end out on a. It's going to be an explosive ending, however it ends. It's not going to end good. So it's a good way to end a trilogy. So.
And Forrest Whitaker always adds legitimacy to anything. So the fact that he's on the other end of the phone gives me some sort of confidence.
Do you remember that Top Gun ripoff movie Iron Eagle?
No.
I remember Iron Eagle 1
Right,
and
so
2.
here's the thing. That reminds you, you're talking about, he's been protecting his wife, his daughter, and all of a sudden his
Yeah.
wife's dead. Iron Eagle, for those of you who haven't seen it, I think it was in the 80s. It's about this kid, right? Becoming a fighter pilot, I think, and following the footsteps of his dad or whatever. And Lou Gossett Jr. is like a side character who's kind of now mentoring him, right? And the whole movie is about this kid and his struggle for survival, getting rescued, all this stuff is him. Iron Eagle 2, first 2 minutes, kid dies. The whole first movie's about him, and then Iron Eagle 2, first 5 minutes, kids dies, and they turn the attention to Lou Gossett Jr. So that's what kind of reminds me of a little
So
bit.
stay home and watch Iron Eagle.
Wow.
All right, what's next?
Connor Kenway writes, "Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of the show. I was wondering if you guys have heard about the new Assassin's Creed release date. It's set to be released in December of 2016. What do you guys think about this?"
Well, look, I was starting to get all kinds of worried about it because it was supposed to be a summer 2015 release, and then they pulled it, and then nothing, and then rumors. And I was honestly, even though I hadn't heard anything about it being taken off the table, with no release date anymore, I was starting to wonder, is this thing dead in the water? So very relieved when I heard about that. Hey, they've set a new release date. They've got their schedules worked out. That was the word that came out, is that now schedules are now set. So maybe it was a scheduling and administrative issue to get things going, probably working around Michael Fassbender. But I was very relieved because I've been saying for a while now that Warcraft is coming out. And Warcraft is probably the most important genre film that we've had in a while because two genres rely on it: the sword and sorcery genre, the video game movie genre. This one film could really spark a resurgence for both. But in just the video game genre, it was, for a long time for me, it was Warcraft and Assassin's Creed. These two could finally propel video game movies to not the next level, but at least a half decent level.
Right.
And then Assassin's Creed disappeared. So how do I feel about it? Relieved. I'm very relieved. What do you guys think?
I think it used to be you hit the panic button automatically when you hear that a movie got moved from its initial release date. But I think now, in the world we live in, you look at where it actually ended up landing. And the fact that it landed in December gives me some sort of confidence to it. Because they also, when they announced Star Wars Episode 7, that was originally going to be in the summer. Then like, oh, no, we're going to move it to Christmas.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. And now we're all pretty confident of that movie coming out. So I think this is a smart move on Assassin's Creed part. You're right. I think it's a scheduling thing. I think it's to make sure that the talent and the director and all that good stuff is lined up properly and they have enough time to develop everything. So this is the best chance that video game movies have at being good, is this Assassin's Creed storyline. So I think it's the right play.
What made this situation even worse, though, was it wasn't just, oh, by the way, we're moving this movie from here to here. It was, oh, by the way, this movie's no longer coming out on this date. 4 months of silence.
Right.
Oh, now there's a new one. Like, that was a little, like,
Yeah.
what's going
Right,
on?
no release date.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least now it's in the same year as Resident Evil 6. So another amazing video game. That's my guilty pleasure. I love all the Resident Evil movies. I know they're trash, but I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 6 and now Assassin's Creed for 2016. Finally, we have a date.
And I think Justin Krusell is still on to direct it. And the reason I'm really interested about that is because he is also directing another James McAvoy, another Michael Fassbender movie with Marion Cotillard coming out this year, Macbeth. Which, so
Looks
this
great.
guy is directing Assassin's Creed. Could be a lot of cool things. All right, what's next?
Christopher Diaz writes, "Hey guys, huge fan of AMC Movie Talk. I watch it every day when I get home from work. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts are on the chance of Emily Blunt getting an Oscar nom for Into the Woods. While Meryl Streep was very good in the role of the witch, Emily basically stole the whole movie. Lovely singing voice and strong presence in the movie, and killed that big solo in the second half. Do you think there is a possibility of her getting a nod, or do you think we will focus more on Meryl's performance?"
She did not steal that movie. No. She's not the best part of the movie. Meryl Streep is the best part of that movie. A movie that went 20 minutes too long. That could have been a great movie if it just ended when we thought it was ending.
When it was supposed to end.
It could have been a great movie.
I
When
wanna
it should have
be
started
happy.
rolling, everyone's happy.
Let's put it this way. Emily Blunt is wonderful. And is she good in Into the Woods? Yeah, she's good in Into the Woods. This is another feather in her career's cap, her performance in Into the Woods. She's very good in it, blah, blah, blah. But no, she's not in the Oscar conversation whatsoever. And it's not because Meryl Streep's in the same film. It's because she's not... this performance for her wasn't one of the top 15 female performances of the year. And that's not a bad thing. She still gave a solid performance. But is this an Oscar caliber performance? Nah. You guys see it any differently?
I think she should be winning an Oscar for Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat, whatever that movie's called.
More than this one.
Yeah, way more. She's
yeah.
incredible in that movie. I loved her in that film. In this film, she's like a side character. She did a great job. It's just like Anna Kendrick. It's just, I mean, it's a small role. You have like 3 songs, you sing, you wander off into the woods.
Not a lot of dramatic range being required of her. So it's not like she didn't do a good job. It's just that the role didn't call for much from her.
But she was the most watchable part of that movie, to me anyway. I thought she was better than Meryl Streep. I really did. But I'm tired of, and so I agree with Christopher there, I'm tired of this movie being considered for any sort of awards. It's not like costume or something like that. Why is Meryl Streep getting nominated for this at all? Is she good in the movie? Of course she is. She's Meryl Streep. But it's not, you're just giving her name another nomination. That's all you're doing. It's like, oh, Meryl Streep was in a movie. I guess she should get a statue of some sort. Like, she's great, okay? But it just was not one of the best performances this year.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't take up Oscar space. I mean, I thought it was like, hey, it's a musical, it's fun, everyone did their job. It just...
Yeah, I recommend the movie. When people say, hey, should I see Into the Woods? I say, yes, you should.
But do you say it's an Oscar-winning musical? No.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The performances are Oscar-winning either. They're all good. It's just weird. All these other people are getting shafted because all these other people are like, Into the Woods.
But we keep saying it, but I can't help but wonder, would I say, yeah, maybe, if it ended when it should have ended? Because seriously, that last 15 minutes changed my entire feeling. It really cast a shadow on my entire feeling.
I just felt bad for the Giants. Those poor Giants, they did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong.
They keep building those.
Well, let's not get into spoilers territory. All right, folks. We said we'd take a couple minutes for your live questions. We're going to do that right now. So, Sinead, what have you picked out?
Thomas tweets, greetings from Sweden. It's 100 years since the First World War. Where are all the World War I movies?
That's one of those questions where I'd have to actually sit down and look up lists of the ones that they've done and all that kind of. I don't know. It's I mean, World War II was we talked about this with the Civil War versus the Revolutionary War. World War II was the sexier of the two ones. I mean, it was supposed to be the war to end all wars, and we look at the drama and everything that went into it. I don't know. I guess there could be more, maybe even should be more films about World War I. I can't think of a lot of World War I films off the top of my head.
I'll go with War Horse was a more recent one. I think the thing with World War II is that it cinematically, I think it makes more sense because you have a clear-cut villain who's like one of the worst dudes of all time that people have heard of in Adolf Hitler, and you have the Axis and you have the Allies' powers when you have like the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor, or you have the storming the beaches. You have these seminal moments in history that people know of that you can take little snippets of. And World War I, the history just isn't as well known as World War II. It unnerves me that somebody from Sweden really wants to see more war. That's scary. But I think there's a lot of great stories to tell based on World War I. So I'd like to see more of those films.
I think your point about from a movie point of view, a definitive antagonist, that's a great point.
You got a Darth Vader.
Yeah, you got your Darth Vader.
And you also have the axis of evil. I mean, it's sort of like you have all three, villains that, are not villains now. But and World War I also was like less American. It was global, but we were less involved in World War I. So it's less. World War II is where America really stepped in. Right. So I mean, when you see a movie like Unbroken and you see all this horrible torture at these camps, it's like you're like, man, this is brutal. I mean, you have all these different facets in both World War I and World War II, which would make great stories. It's just we also had a lot of history happen between World War I and World War II, and where we're at now. We had the Korean War, we had Vietnam, we had tons of civil rights, we had all these other things that we're seeing tons of movies about, which we have a rich history of horror, which we need to mine constantly.
We fight a lot.
And Captain America was in World War II. So
there you go.
All right, what's next?
Scott tweets, how come we haven't seen anything about Ted 2, not even a trailer?
Yeah, we've got time. There's no need for it right now. I mean, I saw, probably a lot of you saw, there was a leaked Ted 2 trailer without the visual effects being done. So whenever we go to Ted, he was just like this wireframe character doing his lines. Wow. Yeah, so that leaked out, and it was funny. It was really funny. But it's a comedy. Putting out a trailer now, the effect of the trailer will have worn out by the time we get to the movie. There's no need to rush any trailers for it, so that's probably why. Any other thoughts?
No.
I mean, especially with comedy sequels, because I don't want to see the jokes. I don't want to see that. That's the biggest thing with me is don't give away any of the jokes, especially with something I already trust, like Ted. Just show me that the Bear and Mark Wahlberg are back. They've announced a bunch of new casting that I'm all really excited about. So just release the movie. Let's do no commercials whatsoever. Just release the movie.
They should just make the Bear and just say, hey, come see my movie. You know, it's like, that would be enough of a sell. Then you don't ruin any of it. So.
All right, last one of the day.
Jameson asks, besides the ones we talked about, are there any other movies this month that you're really excited about?
Oh, good question. Let me, just so I can keep my memory fresh. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to The Wedding Ringer. I have not seen, I can't remember, one of our staff right now is off doing interviews for The Wedding Ringer as we speak, and I can't remember who. But I thought it looked terrible for the first 30 seconds of the trailer. And then I started to laugh a lot throughout the trailer. So Wedding Ringer is one for me. Obviously, well, we got the ones on, I'm looking forward to all the ones on the thing. But I need to look up what's
Kevin
else
Hart
is
makes me
coming out.
laugh a lot. Black Hat is one that I'm really excited about that Michael Mann's doing and Chris Hemsworth is the star of. And then also this movie, Project Almanac. Keep your eye on it. It's a time travel movie. It's found footage. So I think this is one of the more exciting Januaries we've had. And look, for all the stuff that I give Taken 2, I'm still going to be really excited to sit in a theater and see Taken 3. That's going to be cool.
Right, I don't think that, like the question also referred to Taken 3 as being dumped in January. I think January is a great month for movies. It's not the ultimate dumping ground for, it's like, no, I mean, every month now is good for movies. I think that we've kind of, we realized that like a year or so ago. We're like, hey, every month has its great films.
There are actually a couple I'm really looking forward to. I am looking forward to Taken 3. I'm really looking forward to Black Hat. I'm actually getting quite excited about Black Hat. The reviews for Paddington have been through the roof.
Awesome.
So I'm actually far more excited about that now too. I already mentioned The Wedding Ringer. Really excited about Mordecai. No, I'm not. Not even a little bit.
Inspector Clouseau.
And I'm looking forward to The Loft. Ashley and I talked about The Loft on Mailbag this weekend about a bunch of buddies who, they're all good guys, but they decided, hey, we want to have some little flings on the side. Together, they buy a really cool bachelor pad loft where they can have sex, and then they show up one day and there's a dead woman in the bed and they don't know who did it. I think this looks really cool.
Isn't that like that Jon Favreau movie with those guys in Vegas and a stripper gets killed and they're like, what do we do with the body? Remember that?
Oh, Very Bad Things. Yeah.
It reminded me of that, but like just a little like scaled upwards with snooty businessmen.
I think Paddington also walks in on a dead woman in the movie, so
that's a horrible crossover.
All right, folks, that'll do it for us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater showtime and, of course, your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find links to our podcast feed so you can listen to us on the way to work. And don't forget, click the thumbs up button, share this video on your Facebook, on your Twitter, wherever you like to post things, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank, first of all, the guy sitting at the table with me, sitting over here, Mr. Mark Ellis. Mark, where do people find you online?
Twitter and Instagram. They're apps on your phone, and you can follow me at 5150 Ellis. And this weekend, I'll be at Goodnight's Comedy Club in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Right over there, Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, John Schnepp, and at TDOSLWH.
And, of course, our lovely host today, Miss Sinead DeFres. Sinead, where can people find you online?
Sinead DeFries. No, I'm just kidding. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Sinead DeFries.
Sinead 3038. I am from the future.
That's so Sinead.com.
We were joking before we started the show about how people mispronounce your name. And you can find me on all the social interwebs just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.